We all have dreams, goals, and things we want to achieve in life. But there's something that can easily derail us from those dreams. And it's something you might not even realize you're doing. We often find ourselves comparing our journey to someone else's. We look at where they are, what they're doing, and feel like we're falling behind. But here's the truth. That comparison is only holding you back. It's time to stop measuring your progress against other people's success and start focusing on your own path. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you unlock the ability to move forward at your own pace with confidence and clarity. Today, we're going to explore how comparing yourself to anyone else not only steals your happiness, but also slows down your growth. By the end, you'll realize that the only person you should focus on is yourself, and you'll start taking meaningful steps toward the life you truly want. So stay with me, because your journey is about to get clearer. Biggest trap that steals your happiness. The reason so many people feel unhappy, unfulfilled, and constantly frustrated with life isn't because they aren't successful enough. It isn't because they aren't working hard enough. It isn't even because they don't have what they want. It's because they're too busy looking at everyone else. They wake up every day, and instead of focusing on their own path, they compare their lives to someone else's. And the moment they do that, everything they have suddenly feels like it's not enough. That's the biggest trap stealing your happiness. And if you don't stop now, you'll spend your whole life chasing something that will never make you feel satisfied. Think about it. You could be making progress, doing well, moving forward, but the second you see someone who's ahead of you, it feels like you're falling behind. You see someone with a better job, a better body, a better life, and suddenly you start doubting everything you're doing. You start feeling like your success isn't real, like your accomplishments don't matter, like your progress is too slow. And that feeling eats away at you. It makes you second-guess yourself. It makes you feel like you're failing even when you're not. But here's the truth. You are not behind. You are not in competition with anyone but yourself. The problem isn't that you're not good enough. The problem is that you're looking in the wrong direction. Every day, people ruin their own happiness because they can't stop watching what others are doing. They don't even realize it, but they are poisoning their own mindset. They scroll through social media, comparing their reality to someone else's highlight reel. They look at other people's success and convince themselves that they're not doing enough. And the worst part, they don't just feel bad about it. They stop taking action. They stop being excited about their own life. They stop appreciating how far they've come. Because when you're constantly comparing, you lose sight of your own progress. And the more you focus on them, the less you focus on yourself. This is why so many people feel stuck. Not because they're not capable, not because they don't have potential, but because they waste their time looking at others. Instead of working on themselves, they could be learning, they could be improving, they could be growing. But instead they're sitting there feeling frustrated, feeling unworthy, feeling like they're falling behind. And that feeling keeps them from taking action. That's the real danger of comparison. It doesn't just make you feel bad, it steals your energy, your confidence, your motivation. It turns you into a spectator in your own life. But listen, if you want to break free from this, you have to make a decision. You have to decide right now that you are done letting comparison control you. You have to decide that from this moment forward, you are only focused on one thing: becoming better than you were yesterday. That's it. Because at the end of the day, the only person you should be competing with is yourself. Your only job is to wake up every day and make progress. Your only job is to look back at who you were a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, and see growth. That's what real success looks like. But you can't do that if you're always looking at others. You can't focus on your own journey if you're too busy watching someone else's. You can't feel proud of yourself if you keep measuring your life against a version of success that isn't even meant for you. And that's something you need to remind yourself every single day. Your path is yours. Your timing is yours. Your success is yours. It doesn't matter how fast someone else is going. It doesn't matter how much they have. It doesn't matter where they are in life. None of that has anything to do with you. The only thing that matters is whether you're moving forward. And let me tell you something. When you finally let go of comparison, everything changes. You start to feel lighter. You start to feel happier. You start to feel more in control of your life. Because now, instead of wasting energy on things that don't matter, you're putting all your focus into the one thing that does: yourself. You're not worried about what they have. You're not stressed about how far ahead they are. You're too busy working on becoming the best version of yourself. And that's when real success happens. So from this moment on, forget about them. Forget about what they're doing. Forget about how much they have, or how far ahead they seem. Their journey is not your journey. Their timeline is not your timeline. Their success is not your success. The only thing you need to focus on is your own growth, your own improvement, your own progress. Because the second you stop comparing, the second you shift your focus back to yourself, is the moment you start winning. Focus on your own path, not someone else's journey. You're on a journey, your own journey. And the most powerful thing you can do for yourself is stop trying to live someone else's life. Stop comparing your path to theirs. Every step you take, every decision you make is building something uniquely yours. The moment you decide to focus on your own path, you unlock the power to transform your life in ways you never thought possible. You see, too often, we get distracted by what everyone else is doing. We see people getting ahead, achieving success, living their dreams, and it feels like we should be right there with them. But what we fail to realize is that we are not on their path. Their journey is not your journey. Your path is yours alone, and that's where your true potential lies. When you start focusing on your own path, you start to realize that the only timeline that matters is yours. It doesn't matter if someone else has achieved more, faster, or differently. What matters is that you are moving forward at your own pace, with your own goals and your own vision. Everyone has their own timing. Some people take longer to figure things out, some people hit roadblocks along the way, and some people experience faster success. But none of that should matter to you because you're on your own journey. There's no need to rush or compare. The only thing you need to focus on is how far you've come and how much further you can go. Stop allowing the success of others to overshadow your own. It's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing. Whether it's scrolling through social media or hearing about someone's latest accomplishment. But the truth is, social media isn't reality. It's a highlight reel. It's not the full story. You're seeing the success, but you're not seeing the struggles. You're seeing the finished product, but not the effort it took to get there. When you compare yourself to someone else's journey, you're only looking at the surface. You're not seeing the full picture. And when you base your success on someone else's, you set yourself up for disappointment. You'll always feel like you're not enough because your path isn't theirs. And that's okay. Your path is uniquely yours, and that's what makes it so powerful. When you choose to focus on your own path, you eliminate the pressure of having to keep up with someone else. You no longer feel like you're behind or missing out because you're moving at your own pace. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen on someone else's timeline. Your success is tied to your efforts, your consistency, and your belief in yourself. When you're not constantly looking to the left or right to see where others are, you can finally put all your energy into building your own success, one step at a time. The moment you decide to stay in your lane is the moment you start making real progress. Think about all the time and energy you've wasted trying to live up to someone else's standards. You look at where they are, what they've accomplished, and you start measuring yourself against it. But what does that really do for you? It takes your focus off of what you need to do and places it on someone else. It drains your energy and fills your mind with doubt. Instead of feeling inspired to take action, you start feeling discouraged because you're not there yet. But here's the truth. You're exactly where you need to be. You are exactly where you should be on your journey. Your timeline is your own, and there's no need to compare it to anyone else's. The only thing that matters is that you're taking action and moving forward in your own life. When you stop comparing, you start to see the beauty in your own path. You begin to recognize your unique strengths, your talents, and your purpose. You realize that you don't have to follow anyone else's footsteps to achieve success. You are building your own path, and that's the greatest thing you can do for yourself. Your story is different, and that's what makes it so powerful. No one else can walk your path for you, and no one else can tell your story. You are the author of your own life, and when you focus on your own journey, you unlock your true potential. So how do you stop comparing yourself to others? You start by embracing your own path. You stop looking at other people's timelines and start looking at your own. You measure your success by how much you've grown, how far you've come, and how much closer you are to your own goals. You stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and start celebrating the progress you've made. Every small win, every step forward, is a victory. When you stop comparing, you start recognizing how far you've come and how much further you can go. It's time to put the focus back on you, your life, your journey, your success. The moment you stop comparing yourself to others is the moment you start creating a life that is uniquely yours. No one else's path can be yours, and that's the beauty of it. Your journey is special, and when you give it the attention it deserves, you unlock everything you need to succeed. So, embrace your path, stay true to your journey, and let go of the need to measure your success by anyone else's standards. Your time will come, and it will come at the right time for you. And that, my friend, is what matters most. The only person you should compete with is yourself. The fastest way to kill your progress is to think someone else is your competition. The moment you believe you need to outdo them, match them, or stay ahead of them, you've already lost. Because success isn't about beating someone else, it's about becoming better than you were yesterday. It's about waking up every day and asking yourself, how can I improve? Not how can I catch up to them, but how can I take myself to the next level? That shift in thinking is what separates those who stay stuck from those who keep growing. Think about it. Every time you compare yourself to someone else, you give away your power. You let their timeline dictate how you feel about yours. You let their achievements make you question your own. And before you know it, you're no longer focused on what you need to do. You're consumed by what they're doing. And that's exactly why so many people never reach their full potential. They spend more time watching others than working on themselves. They're so busy competing with the world that they forget to compete with themselves. But if you truly want to grow, if you want real progress, real success, real confidence, you have to make yourself the only competition. Because at the end of the day, the only person who truly stands in your way is you. Look at your life right now. Look at your habits, your discipline, your mindset. Are you better than you were last year? Are you making the kind of progress that pushes you forward? Or are you just moving in circles, constantly measuring yourself against people who have nothing to do with your journey? This is where most people get stuck. They look at someone else's success and feel like they need to speed up. They feel like they're falling behind. But the truth is, they were never behind to begin with. They were just distracted. Because when you're focused on your own path, there is no behind. There's only progress, your progress. The problem is, too many people chase the illusion of being better than others, instead of the reality of becoming the best version of themselves. They want to win, but they're playing the wrong game. Because real winning isn't about outshining someone else. It's about outgrowing the version of yourself that no longer serves you. It's about cutting out bad habits, replacing excuses with action, and pushing yourself further than you did yesterday. That's the real challenge. And it's the only challenge that matters. Imagine waking up every single day and knowing that your only job is to beat yesterday's version of you. No distractions, no outside pressure, no comparison, just you versus you. Imagine how much more focused you'd be, how much more motivated, how much more progress you'd make if every ounce of your energy went into improving yourself instead of worrying about someone else's life. That's the kind of mindset that separates the great from the average. The people who make it to the top don't get there because they're chasing others. They get there because they're obsessed with leveling up. They're obsessed with becoming stronger, smarter, more disciplined than they were before. If you really want to see how far you can go, stop wasting energy trying to compete with the world. Stop worrying about their timeline, their results, their success. None of that has anything to do with you. The only thing that matters is that you're better than you were yesterday, that you're learning, growing, evolving, that you're building discipline, that you're keeping promises to yourself, that you're showing up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. That's how you win, not by chasing them, but by surpassing the version of you that wasn't strong enough to do what you're doing right now. So from this moment on, Make yourself the only competition. Wake up every day and ask yourself, how can I improve? Then do it. Push yourself. Stay consistent. Stay hungry. And never let someone else's journey make you question your own. Because at the end of the day, you're not trying to be better than them. You're trying to be the best version of yourself. And when you focus on that, you don't just win, you dominate. The illusion that's holding you back. Social media is the biggest illusion of our time. It's a world where people only show you the highlight reel. The perfect moments, the wins, the celebrations. But what they don't show you is the struggle, the failures, the sleepless nights, the moments of doubt. They don't show you the work it took to get there. And that's why so many people fall into the trap of comparison. They scroll through their feeds, looking at someone else's perfect life, and they start feeling like they're behind, like they're not doing enough, like they're failing. But let me tell you something. Social media is lying to you, and if you let it control your mindset, it will destroy your confidence. The problem is, most people don't realize they're being manipulated. They open their phones, see someone living in a mansion, driving a luxury car, traveling the world, and they instantly feel like they're not measuring up. They see someone their age making more money, someone younger achieving things they haven't, and suddenly they feel small. But what they don't see is the full story. What they don't see is the debt, the stress, the anxiety that person is dealing with behind the scenes. They don't see the years of struggle it took to get there. They don't see the moments of doubt, the failures, the sacrifices. They only see the polished version, the filtered version, the version designed to impress, not to tell the truth. And that's why you can't let it get to you. If you're constantly comparing your life to what you see online, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Because the reality is, nobody has it all figured out. Nobody is living a perfect life. The people who look the happiest online might be the most miserable in real life. The ones who seem like they have everything together might be struggling in ways you'll never know. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your entire life chasing an illusion, trying to match a level of success that isn't even real. That's how social media destroys confidence. It makes you believe you're not good enough, when in reality you're doing just fine. You're on your own path at your own pace, and that's exactly where you need to be. Think about how much time people waste scrolling, comparing, feeling bad about themselves, instead of doing something that actually improves their life. Hours and hours spent watching others, while their own goals sit on the sidelines. How much further would you be if all that time was spent working on yourself? If instead of watching someone else's success, you were building your own? That's the difference between people who stay stuck and people who move forward. One group obsesses over others, the other group focuses on themselves. The truth is, social media is a tool. You can use it to inspire you, to learn, to grow, or you can let it drain your energy, steal your focus, and make you feel like you're never enough. The choice is yours. But if you're serious about building confidence, if you're serious about making progress, you have to stop letting it control your mind. You have to stop measuring your worth based on what you see online. You have to remind yourself that what you're seeing is a curated version, not reality. Because when you truly understand that, when you stop chasing someone else's life and start focusing on your own, that's when you take back your power. That's when you start winning. So from this moment on, stop letting social media ruin your confidence. Stop letting it make you feel like you're not enough. Because you are enough. You always have been. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need validation from strangers on the internet. What you need is to believe in yourself, to trust your own journey, to know that your progress is real, even if no one else sees it. Because at the end of the day, success isn't about how many likes you get, how many followers you have, or how perfect your life looks online. It's about how you feel about yourself when no one's watching. It's about the work you put in behind the scenes. It's about who you become in the process. And when you focus on that, when you commit to that, nothing can shake your confidence. Nothing can stop you from becoming everything you were meant to be. Success is not a race. It's a journey. We often make the mistake of looking at others and thinking they've got it all figured out, that they're moving ahead faster or achieving more than we are. But let me tell you something. You are exactly where you need to be. And the idea that success is a race is one of the biggest misconceptions that holds people back. It's not about how quickly you can get from point A to point B. It's about the journey, the lessons, the growth, and the progress you make along the way. There's no finish line that's going to validate your efforts. No one is handing out trophies at the end of the day to measure your success based on how much you've accomplished compared to someone else. And if you think about it, that's where the pressure starts. When you treat success like a race, you stop enjoying the process and you end up exhausted, constantly feeling like you're falling behind. The beauty of success is that it's not about a set destination. It's about who you become in the process. It's about the person you're evolving into every single day. You might not see it right now, but with every decision you make, every obstacle you overcome, every setback you face and get back up from, you are growing. We live in a world where we're conditioned to think that success happens fast. Social media, TV shows, advertisements, they all paint this picture of instant success, like the moment you have the right idea or the right strategy, everything will magically fall into place. But in reality, success doesn't work that way. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And even that might not be the right word to describe it. It's more like a journey where you're constantly evolving, improving, and reshaping yourself. Look at the people who have achieved the most in life: successful entrepreneurs, world-class athletes, top musicians. You'll quickly realize that what they achieved didn't come from rushing through the process. They didn't race to the top. Instead, they focused on the long game. They worked relentlessly, day after day, pouring their effort into learning, growing, and mastering their craft. It's not about getting ahead of the next person, and it's certainly not about rushing to some endpoint. It's about becoming the person you need to be to live the life you've dreamed of. When you make success a race, you start measuring yourself by others. You begin to feel like your journey isn't good enough because you're not as far along as someone else. You start doubting your abilities, your decisions, and the path you've chosen. You look at people who seem to be moving faster and wonder why it's taking you so long. But here's the thing. You have no idea what their journey has been like. You don't know the sacrifices they've made, the struggles they've faced, or the failures they've had to overcome. What looks like success on the outside might be hiding a lot of challenges and setbacks they've experienced behind the scenes. That's why it's so important to stop comparing yourself to others. Your path, your journey, and your timeline are unique to you. Success isn't about winning a race, it's about staying the course. It's about having the patience to put in the work, day after day, and trusting that with every step forward, no matter how small, you are moving closer to where you need to be. And sometimes that means taking a step back to reassess, recalibrate, and make sure you're still heading in the right direction. But even in those moments of pause, you're still growing, you're still learning, you're still evolving into the person who can handle the success that's coming your way. The journey might take time, but that's the beauty of it. You don't have to have it all figured out today. You don't have to rush. There's no reason to pressure yourself to be at a certain place by a certain time. You're on your own timeline. And that's something to embrace. We live in a society that wants everything now, the fast food mentality, the instant gratification of social media likes, the constant pressure to have it all together. But real success doesn't come from shortcuts. It comes from steady, consistent effort over time. It comes from learning to be patient with yourself and trusting that you are doing the right work. It's about staying focused on your goals, no matter how far away they seem, and knowing that every single day you are making progress. This is where the magic happens. When you stop racing, when you stop measuring yourself against someone else's clock, that's when you start enjoying the process. That's when you can see how far you've come and feel proud of the steps you're taking, even if they seem small at times. It's about understanding that success doesn't happen overnight. It's about recognizing that the little wins, the small steps, the quiet moments of progress, they matter just as much as the big victories. It's about learning to appreciate the journey, even when it feels slow, because you're building something lasting, something real. When you look at success as a journey instead of a race, you allow yourself to be more present. You stop getting frustrated because you're not where you think you should be, and you start feeling gratitude for the opportunities, experiences, and lessons you're gathering along the way. It's like walking through a forest. You're not in a hurry to reach the other side. You're taking your time, noticing the beauty around you, feeling the earth beneath your feet, and appreciating the journey. You know that when you get to the other side, it will be worth it because of all the lessons you learned and the strength you gained in the process. This mindset shift is what will help you persevere when things get tough. When you stop thinking that success is a race, you stop measuring your progress by someone else's standard. Instead, you begin to measure your progress by how much better you are today than you were yesterday. And let me tell you, when you start thinking that way, success will find you, because it's not about sprinting to some end goal. It's about putting in the work, staying consistent, and having the patience to see it through. So don't make success a race. It's not about beating anyone or getting there before someone else. It's about staying true to your own path, trusting the process, and understanding that the journey is just as important as the destination. Success will come, but it will come on its own time, at its own pace, and in the way that's right for you. And when it does, you'll know that you earned it. Not by rushing, but by being persistent, focused, and patient with yourself. How comparison kills your self-worth and motivation. Comparison is one of the sneakiest thieves of self-worth and motivation. It quietly slips into your mind, convincing you that you're not doing enough, that you're not measuring up, and that you somehow fall short. You know that feeling when you scroll through social media or hear about someone else's achievements and feel that heavy weight in your chest? Like you're not moving fast enough or doing enough. You start questioning yourself, doubting your progress, and wondering if you're even capable of reaching your own goals. But here's the truth. Comparison is a lie. It doesn't just steal your joy, it robs you of the energy you need to keep going. It kills your motivation without you even realizing it. You start focusing on the wrong things, thinking you're falling behind, when in reality, you're on your own path. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday, not someone else's highlight reel. When you compare yourself to others, you're giving away your power. You're telling yourself that someone else's success is a measure of your own worth. You're letting someone else's journey dictate how you feel about your own progress. But here's the thing. What you see in others is not the full story. You don't see the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the challenges they've had to face. All you see is the outcome, the polished, perfect version of their life. And that's where comparison traps you. You don't have the full picture, yet you let it affect your belief in yourself. The truth is, no one is perfect. No one has it all figured out. Everyone has their struggles. So why should you measure yourself against someone else's unknown struggles? You don't have the right information to make a fair comparison. And even if you did, it wouldn't change your journey. Your path is yours alone. And comparing it to anyone else's is like trying to compare apples to oranges. It doesn't make sense. And it only hurts you in the process. When comparison creeps in, it often leads to a spiral of negativity. You begin to focus on your shortcomings instead of recognizing how far you've come. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that someone else is achieving more, faster, or better. You start thinking that your efforts don't matter as much because they don't match up to someone else's success. But let me tell you something. No one's journey is the same, and no one's success looks exactly like yours. Your success will come in its own time, in its own way, and it will be based on your efforts, your decisions, and your growth. You can't force someone else's timeline onto your life, and you shouldn't. You see, the moment you stop comparing yourself to others is the moment you truly begin to step into your power. It's the moment you stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and start focusing on what you can control. Your own actions, your own growth, and your own progress. And when you shift that focus, something incredible happens. You start gaining clarity. You begin to see your own potential, your own value, and your own path forward. Instead of thinking about what others have or what they're achieving, you start asking yourself, what can I do today to move closer to my goals? That shift in focus is everything. It's what will allow you to break free from the chains of comparison and build a life that is uniquely yours. Here's something else to remember. When you compare yourself to others, you're setting yourself up for frustration. No matter how far you go, there will always be someone ahead of you. And when you're constantly measuring yourself against someone else's progress, it creates a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction. It's an exhausting, unproductive way to live. You'll never feel like you're enough, because there will always be someone you think is doing better, moving faster, or achieving more. And that, my friend, is a trap. It keeps you stuck in a loop of self-doubt and prevents you from realizing that your progress is just as valid and important as anyone else's. Your journey is personal, and it's valuable. It deserves your attention, your energy, and your commitment. Now let's talk about the toll this comparison game takes on your motivation. When you start comparing, you don't just feel bad about where you are, you also feel disconnected from the fire that once fueled your ambitions. The excitement, the passion, the drive, it all starts to fade away. Why? Because you're looking outside yourself for validation instead of looking inward. You're waiting for someone else's approval, someone else's success, to measure your own worth. But that's not how it works. Motivation comes from within. It's about believing in yourself, trusting in your abilities, and knowing that your hard work will pay off. When you let comparison creep in, you lose sight of that inner motivation. You start doubting yourself and your progress. You lose the very thing that will propel you forward. The truth is, your worth has nothing to do with how you stack up against someone else. Your value comes from the effort you put in, the actions you take, and the mindset you adopt. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you free yourself to be your best. You stop wasting energy on feelings of inadequacy and start channeling that energy into what truly matters: growth, learning, and achieving your own version of success. Let's be real for a moment. No one has it all together. Everyone is fighting their own battles, facing their own challenges, and dealing with their own setbacks. So why would you allow someone else's success or perceived success to dictate how you feel about yourself? Why let someone else's timeline take you off course? You are on your own journey, and you need to trust it. Your progress, no matter how slow it may seem, is still progress. The steps you take today, no matter how small, are bringing you closer to the life you want to create. Don't let comparison rob you of that truth. The only person you should compete with is yourself. When you wake up every day, ask yourself, how can I be better today than I was yesterday? That's where your focus should be. The race is not against anyone else. The race is against your past self. Your only competition is who you were yesterday. And when you focus on being better than you were yesterday, you'll start to see just how much progress you're making. You'll realize that, in the end, it's not about being better than someone else. It's about being the best version of yourself. So let go of comparison. Stop measuring your success by someone else's standards. Your journey is yours alone, and it's worth celebrating. Keep moving forward. Keep growing. And most importantly, keep believing in yourself, because when you do, nothing and no one can stop you. Your definition of success is different from theirs. Success is yours to define, and it's time you stop letting someone else tell you what success looks like for you. We live in a world that constantly pushes an image of success: big houses, flashy cars, expensive vacations, the latest trends, and the constant hustle. But here's the truth. That's not your success. That's someone else's idea of success. It's time to throw away the comparison game and create your own vision of what it means to win in life. We've been conditioned to think that we need to follow a blueprint set by others, that we need to measure our achievements based on someone else's milestones. But if you're constantly looking around at how others are doing, how can you ever figure out what you truly want? How can you ever build your own version of success if you're too busy trying to match someone else's? It's time to break free from that mindset and focus on what truly matters to you. I know it can be hard. When you see others doing well, it's easy to wonder why you're not there yet. But that's where the real work begins. Learning to define success on your own terms, based on what feels right for you instead of what looks good to others. Maybe your idea of success is to build a peaceful home for your family, to help others grow, or to pursue a passion that sets your soul on fire. There's no one-size-fits-all formula for success. The definition of success is as unique as you are. Let me share something with you that changed my own perspective. There is no right way to live your life, and there is no universal path to success. People will tell you to do this or that because it worked for them, but that doesn't mean it's the best way for you. And when you try to follow someone else's success blueprint, you end up living in their shadow, never fully experiencing the joy of your own journey. You lose yourself along the way, and all you're left with is frustration and dissatisfaction. It's time to be clear about what success means to you. What do you truly want to achieve? What are the values that are important to you? Is it financial freedom? Is it time with your loved ones? Is it personal growth? The only person who can define your success is you. And once you make that decision, everything starts to change. Your focus shifts. You stop caring about what anyone else is doing, and you start caring about what you need to do to get where you want to go. I'll tell you this, no one will care about your journey the way you do. No one will be as invested in your dreams as you are. That's why you need to own your definition of success and stop letting anyone tell you what you should want. It's not about following trends or achieving what society deems as success. It's about finding fulfillment in your own life, based on your values, your passions, and your purpose. When you define success for yourself, it becomes much easier to stay motivated, because it's rooted in your heart, not in someone else's expectations. Think about it for a moment. What would happen if you stopped looking at the people around you and truly focused on your own path? If you stopped measuring your worth by someone else's achievements and instead measured it by the progress you're making toward your own dreams, your success doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It just has to feel right for you. When you start thinking this way, you'll stop doubting yourself. You'll stop feeling like you're not good enough, or like you're falling behind. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparison, but once you realize that success is completely personal, it becomes empowering. You are the creator of your destiny. You are the one who gets to decide what your future looks like. The only thing that matters is whether you're making progress on your own path. The comparison game steals your joy. It steals your focus, and it steals your energy. But when you focus on your own definition of success, you start to feel fulfilled no matter where you are in your journey. You begin to appreciate the small wins, the steps forward, even if they seem insignificant to others. Your progress is yours alone, and that's something worth celebrating. You're not in competition with anyone but yourself. That's the real beauty of it. You're simply working to be better than you were yesterday. And when you make success about your own growth, it becomes less about the destination and more about the journey. You begin to embrace the process because you know that it's shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. And trust me, this shift in mindset is powerful. It takes the pressure off. When you're no longer racing against others or comparing your progress to theirs, you can relax into your own journey. You can take your time, make mistakes, learn from them, and keep moving forward without the fear of falling behind. Because there's no one else to compare yourself to. There's only you and your personal growth. And that's all that matters. When you stop letting others define success for you, you open up a whole new world of possibilities. You give yourself permission to dream bigger, to think differently, and to create a life that's uniquely yours. Success isn't about following a script that someone else wrote for you. It's about writing your own story, one chapter at a time, based on your values and your dreams. The journey will be messy, but it will also be meaningful. It will be yours, and that's what will make it worth it. So today, stop comparing your path to anyone else's. Stop looking at the highlights of other people's lives and thinking that you're falling short. Your success is yours to define, and it's about time you start taking ownership of that. Focus on what matters to you. Create a vision that excites you, and begin building the life you truly want to live. Because at the end of the day, the only person you need to compete with is the person you were yesterday. And I promise you, when you do that, you'll find fulfillment in ways you've never imagined. Shift your focus from others to yourself. It's time to take a hard look at where you're directing your energy and whether it's in the right place. Because if you're honest with yourself, you've probably spent too much time and mental energy thinking about what others are doing, comparing yourself to them, and wishing you had what they have. You see their success, their lifestyle, their achievements, and think, why not me? But here's the key. Your focus has to shift. You need to stop looking outside and start looking inside. Only then will you find what you truly need to grow, to succeed, and to become the best version of yourself. The truth is, the more you focus on other people, the less you focus on your own potential. You've got your own life to live, your own dreams to chase, and your own obstacles to overcome. Yet how often do you catch yourself scrolling through social media, watching what others are doing, and falling into the trap of comparison? It's a trap that wastes your time and energy, and it's a trap that can stop you from reaching your true potential. When you stop looking at others, when you stop measuring your success against theirs, you'll realize that your path is unique, and your success doesn't have to look like anyone else's. The only measure of progress that matters is the one that's personal to you. It's not about what the world says you should be doing. It's about what you want to do, and what you are capable of achieving. If you've ever found yourself envious of someone else's success or frustrated with your own progress, understand this. It's a reflection of misplaced focus. The real question is, where are you focusing your energy? Are you focusing on what's within your control? Or are you letting the actions of others take up your precious time and thoughts? When you focus on someone else's journey, you lose sight of your own. You begin to compare yourself to their version of success. And the truth is, their success isn't your success. The only way to reach your full potential is to focus all your energy on yourself, your growth, your dreams, and your progress. You are not them. You are not meant to live their life. You're meant to live yours. And that means putting your focus on the things that matter to you, not on the things that matter to others. When you're caught up in comparing yourself to someone else, you miss the chance to recognize what makes you different, what makes you unique, and what makes you capable of achieving great things in your own way. This isn't about competition. It's about creation. Your life is yours to create, and the only way you can build something amazing is by focusing on your own goals and your own process. It's about creating a life that excites you, that brings you joy, and that feels like success to you. When you start focusing on your own growth, your own progress, and your own success, you stop feeling like you're in competition with the world. You start feeling like you're moving at your own pace, with your own unique rhythm. And the best part, this shift in focus frees you. You're no longer trapped by the expectations of others, by the pressure to keep up, or by the fear that you're not doing enough. When you focus on your own path, you begin to make decisions that serve your best interests. You start thinking about how to get better, how to improve, how to build the life that will bring you happiness and fulfillment. You stop wondering what others are doing, and start thinking about what you are doing, and what you need to do next. By shifting your focus from others to yourself, you unlock your true potential. Because here's the thing, we all have greatness within us. We all have the ability to achieve incredible things. But greatness isn't found by looking at someone else's achievements and trying to match them. It's found by looking inside yourself and discovering what you're capable of. It's about focusing on your strengths, your passions, and your values. It's about honing in on what makes you unique, and building on that to create something amazing. Imagine what your life could look like if you stopped caring about the lives of others and focused entirely on yourself. Imagine what you could achieve if you put all your energy into building your own dreams, your own goals, and your own success. You could become the person you've always wanted to be. You could take action on your goals with confidence and clarity, without the distractions of comparison pulling you in 1,000 different directions. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean being selfish. It means being smart with your time and energy. It means knowing that you have something valuable to offer the world, and that your success is based on your ability to cultivate your own potential, not by copying someone else's success. You were not put on this earth to live anyone else's life. You were put here to live your own. So let's be clear, shifting your focus to yourself is not a luxury, it's a necessity. If you want to achieve anything meaningful in life, it's about being present in your own journey, embracing your own process, and trusting that your path is the right one for you. When you focus on what's important to you, you'll begin to realize that success is not something that's given to you by others. It's something you create for yourself. By making intentional choices and taking consistent action. It's time to stop giving so much of your attention to other people's lives, and start pouring that energy into your own. The more you focus on your own journey, the more you'll see how far you've come, and the closer you'll get to the life you've always dreamed of. You've got everything you need inside you to make it happen. Now it's just a matter of where you put your focus. Make it count. The ugly side of constantly watching others and how it's destroying you. You've got to be aware of something incredibly important when it comes to your own personal growth. Constantly comparing yourself to others isn't just a waste of time, it's actually holding you back. When you focus too much on what others are doing or what they have, it creates a toxic pattern that slowly but surely kills your confidence, your motivation, and your sense of self-worth. If you think that looking at others' successes will somehow push you to work harder or become better, think again. All it's really doing is distracting you from the most important thing you need to focus on: your own life and your own progress. The reality is, no one's life is exactly like yours. No one is walking your path, facing your unique challenges, or living your specific circumstances. So why would you compare your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel? It's a losing game. When you compare yourself to someone else, you're essentially telling yourself that their journey is somehow more important than yours. But here's the kicker: their journey isn't your journey. They are walking their path, and you need to walk yours. The more you pay attention to someone else's life, the more you rob yourself of the energy and focus that you need to create the life you want. You may look at someone else and think they have it all figured out. You might look at their success, their lifestyle, their accomplishments, and feel like you're falling short. But here's the thing: you don't know their full story. You don't know what it took for them to get there. You don't know the struggles, the sacrifices, and the pain they went through to reach their goals. All you see is the polished image they choose to show the world. So when you compare yourself to that, you're setting yourself up for failure, because you're comparing an incomplete picture of your own life to a carefully curated image of someone else's. The dangerous thing about constantly watching others is that it distorts your reality. You begin to measure your own worth based on something that isn't real, and that can lead to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and frustration. You start to believe that you're not doing enough, that you're not good enough, or that you're somehow falling behind. But none of that is true. You are right where you need to be. The only thing standing in the way of your success is your own mindset. And the sooner you recognize that, the sooner you can take control of your life and your future. You might think you're just being inspired by someone else's achievements, but in reality, you're letting their success become a measuring stick for your own life. And that is a recipe for disaster. When you focus on someone else's wins, you start doubting your own progress. You question whether you're doing enough or if you're on the right path. But here's the truth: you don't need to measure your success against anyone but yourself. You've got to stop looking sideways and start looking forward. You've got to get out of the habit of wondering if you're keeping up with others and start focusing on whether you're making progress toward your own goals. Every time you shift your focus to someone else, you lose sight of the things that make your own journey unique. You rob yourself of the chance to fully embrace your own potential. You stop trusting your instincts, and you start second-guessing everything. This is why comparison is so destructive. It undermines your belief in yourself. But when you stop comparing yourself to others, you open up space for your own growth. You stop worrying about what everyone else is doing, and start focusing on the steps you need to take to get where you want to go. And when you put your energy into that, you'll be amazed at how much further you can go. What's even more dangerous than comparison itself is the belief that someone else's life is better than yours. That's a lie. No one's life is perfect. No one's journey is without challenges. No one has it all figured out. So when you constantly compare yourself to others, you're convincing yourself that their life is somehow better than yours. But that's not the truth. Your life is valuable. Your life is worth living fully. Your life is worth putting your energy into. The more you focus on your own path, the more you will appreciate what you have, and the more motivated you'll be to keep pushing forward. It's easy to get caught up in comparing yourself to others, especially in a world where everyone's life seems to be on display for the world to see. But the truth is, most of what you see is only a small part of the picture. Social media, for example, shows only the best moments of people's lives, the vacations, the achievements, the celebrations. But that's not the full story. You're not seeing the sleepless nights, the failures, the struggles, or the doubts that go into those moments. And even if you were, it still wouldn't change the fact that your journey is yours alone. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you reclaim your power. You stop letting someone else's journey define your own worth. You stop looking at someone else's success as a reason to feel inadequate, and instead use it as inspiration to push yourself further. Comparison no longer has control over you, and you're free to focus on the one thing that truly matters: your own life, your own goals, and your own progress. The more you embrace your own unique path, the more you'll see that success isn't a race, and it's not a competition. It's about growth, learning, and becoming the person you're meant to be. The next time you find yourself comparing your life to someone else's, stop, take a deep breath, remind yourself that their journey is not yours, and refocus. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to move closer to my goals? What steps can I take today to improve my life? And when you start putting all your energy into that question, instead of wondering what others are doing, you'll be amazed at how much progress you make. Your journey is worth every ounce of effort, and it's the only one that matters. You are your biggest competition. No one else matters. You have to understand this one simple truth. If you want to truly transform your life, the only person you should be competing with is yourself. Think about it for a moment. Who else can you control but you? No one else can dictate your actions, your thoughts, or your decisions, unless you allow them to. Yet we've all been there, comparing ourselves to others, thinking we need to match up to their achievements, their lifestyles, or their successes. But the more you focus on other people's lives, the less time you're spending on the one that truly matters, your own. When you stop seeing others as competition and start seeing yourself as your own biggest challenge, that's when real change begins. In life, you don't have to measure your worth by anyone else's standards. The only true comparison is against the person you were yesterday. When you realize that you're the one who sets the bar for your own life, you take full control. Your progress, your success, your happiness. These things are entirely in your hands. If you want to get better, it starts with you. You're the one who determines how much effort you put in. You're the one who decides how far you can go. There's no external force telling you where you should be or what you should do. Everything comes down to what you choose. Think about this for a second. The most successful people in the world aren't competing with the person next to them. They're competing with who they were yesterday. They're looking at their own life, measuring their progress, and setting their next goal. That's what fuels them. Not someone else's success, not someone else's accolades. They have a clear focus on one thing: their own journey. And the moment you shift your mindset to this, you free yourself from the stress of comparison. You stop trying to keep up with anyone else's timeline, and you start running your own race at your own pace. This is the key to building lasting success. But here's the problem. The world today, especially with social media, makes it incredibly easy to get caught up in the trap of comparing yourself to everyone else. You scroll through your feed, and you see someone else getting the promotion you want, or traveling to the places you dream of. It's easy to look at that and feel like you're falling behind, like you're somehow not doing enough. But you need to realize that this is a trap. It's a game that will never make you happy, because no matter how much you try, there will always be someone doing something that you haven't done yet. It's an endless loop of dissatisfaction, and the only way to break free from that is by focusing inward, not outward. When you compete with yourself, you're measuring your growth, your resilience, and your development. You're not looking at someone else's finish line. You're focused on your own, and that makes all the difference. The beauty of this is that when you focus on yourself, there's no limit to what you can achieve. You can continue growing, getting better, and moving forward. Each day is a chance to improve, to be better than you were yesterday. The only person you need to outdo is the person you were yesterday. That's the competition that matters. You see, the world is full of distractions. Everywhere you look, someone else seems to be ahead of you, achieving more, doing more, having more, but none of that should affect your path. You have to understand that everyone is on a different journey, with different circumstances and different challenges. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes. What you see on the surface is not the whole story. Everyone has their own battles, their own struggles, their own setbacks. So why would you compare your journey with theirs? Your success doesn't need to look like theirs. Your life doesn't need to mirror theirs. You have your own unique path to walk, and that path is yours to shape. And here's the powerful part. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you free up so much energy to invest in your own growth. The less time you spend looking at someone else's life, the more time you can spend building yours. You can focus on what you need to improve, what you need to learn, and what you need to accomplish. The best part is, when you're only competing with yourself, you stop feeling like you're falling behind. You realize that there's no race. There's only progress. There's only moving forward. Every step you take is a step toward your own version of success. So let's get this straight. Stop trying to outdo someone else. Stop trying to live up to their expectations or match their achievements. They're on their own journey, and you're on yours. The only person you should be looking to improve is yourself. And when you take that mindset on, everything changes. You start winning the most important competition, the competition with yourself. You begin to see how much potential you have, how much growth is possible when you stop comparing and start focusing on what you can do. Your life is in your hands, and it's time you took full responsibility for your own success. The most empowering thing you can do for yourself is to stop comparing. Stop measuring your life by someone else's standards. Stop feeling inadequate because of someone else's wins. You're on your own journey, and it's beautiful, unique, and completely yours. If you keep comparing yourself to others, you're always going to feel like you're coming up short. But when you compete with yourself, when you focus on being better than you were yesterday, you're winning every single day, and that's what matters. Your growth, your success, your happiness, it's all in your hands. It always has been. So stop looking sideways and start looking forward. Your journey is the only one that truly matters, and it's time you started running it your way.